Hello, it's me, Annalisa, with My Spiritual Friend. I am back. It is Sunday, February 27th, 2022. I hope everybody is doing well that is watching. So normally I donate to the Community Food Bank of New Jersey, but today I'm going to donate to help the Ukrainians, and it's going to be 100% today instead of 30% as usual. So this is the day to spend money, right? I love all things manifesting. If you're new here, welcome. If you're old here, thank you for continuing to support me and my channel and my encouraging me and lifting me up. So I'm a psychic medium. If you don't know me, I also do medical intuition. I think that's by default because I have a background as a nurse, or I used to be a nurse. I am retired. I hope to never go back. No offense. I love nurses. It is not a job I ever want to do again. Because my specialties lie here. Hang on, sorry. Hello. I am also a reverend in the Spiritualist Church. I like to share my messages here and connect with y'all here and let you know that there is something bigger out there and give you reassurance and also help empower you on your journey. I also really believe in manifesting. And I have been really working on manifesting money because I want to grow my business, and I have my own blocks, or had my own blocks with money. I feel like I'm kind of niching them out, but scritching, whatever them out. And one thing I love is that when money comes in, I can also bless others and help others in their abundance. And I feel like it's really needed right now in the Ukraine. And so let's give today, shall we? If you're here, I will work hard for the money, I promise. You could donate. You just have to go to the PayPal link is in my description. If Kritika or if any of my moderators are here, that'd be great. If not, I'll type it in. I'll give everybody just a minute. Hello. Where's my website for number? My website is just myspiritualfriend.com. I try to make it really easy. Because oh, thank you, KK. Sorry. My TikTok is my_spiritual_friend. My Instagram is my spiritual friend, and my Twitter is my spiritual FRND because I didn't have enough characters to do that. So I want to talk a little bit about the Ukraine. Last week, Starry Sky asked if I thought they were going to go to war, and I said no. And I think more I was thinking of it as like, when you ask a question, if you don't ask it just right, you get it in the way you ask it. And if you do this work, you sort of understand this. I was thinking of it more as like everyone jumping in, the way we've done with Afghanistan and other places, and Kuwait. I still don't think we'll go in. I think we'll continue to support them. Our feeling is that we'll continue to support them financially and with weapons and supplies and drop in aid for the people that are still there. I did get the other day, like 2 or 3 days ago, and I posted this on a response to something, but I got something being significant about March 3rd. So, but it feels like a de-escalation, like a better by March 3rd. So I always hate giving predictions like this, to be honest, because it's my own anxiety, because this is an area I want to be right in. Because, yeah. And I did say on my TikTok, I said in this moment when you're watching some of the live stuff and it's scary and you can feel their fear, especially when you're empathic, when you are clairsentient, you can feel the anxiety and the fear, and you can take that upon yourself. And you can either choose to sit in that, which then amplifies their anxiety and fear, or you can find and hold space, because if you are in a safe space, there is no reason for you not to empower yourself to do that, and sending them energy, sending them healing, sending them light and protection. I know a lot of people go, oh, prayers don't work. They work. Energy works. Energy healing works. I even did, so I've talked about on my channel before, the whisper technique, for manifesting, where you whisper into people's ears. So I whispered over the Ukraine into the people of Ukraine, but I also whispered into Putin's ear, which maybe you think that's crazy, but he's got some big evil dark energy over him. Like, I don't know what he's carrying, but it's bigger than anything dark I've ever cleared before. It's the best way to put it. So we'll see. It's $12. Should be $12 for a question. Okay, thank you, Allie. That's very nice of you to let me know. I appreciate that. Ah, that's beautiful. The Allie said she tries to imagine a warm light, a warm light of love and sun warming them up physically and emotionally. I think that's perfect. It's not about, so everybody goes when you're doing energy healing, like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? I'm like, you're doing it right. Just don't go, oh, I hope, I wish, I would, because that's still in lack. That's still in a place of disempowerment. You want to just see it, imagine it. Think of like the Care Bear stare. It's a good way to do it if you know the Care Bears. Yeah. So that's what I do. And also donating money to help. And I chose Bethany Frankel's thing because she is like, I don't always love her from a sense of the drama aspect, but also remember that TV gets cut a certain way, blah, 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 blah. And she's on her own healing journey and human German journey, but she like really does a lot of work with getting in there. It's like, I don't know, whoever the woman was at the start of the Red Cross. Like, I just feel like she's like meant to and destined to do this work. And she uses her platform to really go in there and she does the work. So they're on the ground and she looks at like all the aspects of it. Like, their animals need aid and their kids need aid. They need diapers. They need hygiene products. And then they also give money. And that's what you need in an emergency like this is cash, you know? So, and they're in there with food and everything else. And I know that she said that, I don't know who else, some food has been massively donated. They're working on getting warehouses and everything else. This is something she does. And so I want to give to that source. So that's what I'm going to do 100% today. Not 30%, just do 100%. Because I can, I am, and I will. Okay. I will look for you in a minute, Julie. Okay. So that's that. I hope everybody else is well. I'm so excited to announce that I am doing another event with Kim Kasnov. So if you live in the New Jersey area, New York, New Jersey area, and you want to do a super awesome manifesting thing, I'm going to be doing readings again. I will be giving everybody readings. It is limited to 20 people. It is going to be in the same spot in Maplewood, New Jersey. It's with Kim Kasnov. She's fantastic. I just love her energy. I'm so excited to get to collaborate with her again. And she's also going to be having a Kirlian photographer there to do pictures of everybody and like do the pictures of your aura, which is super cool and fun. I've always wanted one. And every time I've gone to, there's a big psychic fair that they have in New York City and a couple other places, like quite literally the person is like, oh, we just shut down. I'm like, okay, not meant to be. So it's really cool. I'm really excited. I have got such wonderful feedback. So it's nice to know that I'm like, she liked me too and wants me back. So that I clicked a link to her website, which will have a link for our events, and it is limited spaces. So if you are interested and you're in the area, you should save your space now. I think I don't think of it as me being kind. I think of it as like, this is a way for us to work together and give energy, and people really need it. And this is like part of my whole idea of when I manifest money and manifest success and manifest things coming in for me to be supported by the energy of money and other people like wanting to give me their money. It's because I want to be able to then support others in their own abundance too. It's like energy just needs to move around and pass through, and money is just energy. And so this is like what I want to do, and I follow through. So, okay. All right, let's do this. Kelly Ann, I want to look back at your question. It was a bit long. Also, I did just almost like I from now on out, if you guys could refrain from sending payments a week ahead of time, that would be lovely. Simply because sometimes I just worry that you're going to get lost and I'm going to forget you. And I don't want to forget you because you were all very important to me. And doing this work is really important to me. And my integrity, like my job and doing all of this, is truly built on the backbone of my own integrity and following through. And um, my word is everything because I build my business on word of mouth. So if you would be kind enough to not pay a week of it in advance, I would truly appreciate it. Because then I feel like I use so many spoons to try and remember. So Kellyanne, let me look at yours. Are you here, Kellyanne? Let me just make sure. Oh, come on. Pull up, pull up. Why won't you pull up? Oh, I remember yours now. Okay, I just had to look at the beginning of it. I don't remember all of the things you want. You wanted me to do a medical intuition. Okay, perfect. Thank you, thank you. The day before is fine. I worry that honestly, like if I get too many payments or do too many other transactions for other things, that I'm gonna lose it. Because I am currently not LLC'd. Once I LLC, it won't be an issue. But so I do personal payments through it too. I'm worried I'll lose it, or it's like, because we get a lot of payments on Sunday, and then throughout the week I get more payments for readings, and then I pay payments for other work things through it, or so. I just don't want to lose you and forget you. That's all. Okay, so ooh. Did your mom have long stuff? And then I'm going to come back to it, but I just saw that and I want to get rid of this feeling. Libra moon. Okay, so she's here. I'll bring her through. Just hold on. No, that was for Libra moon. Wait, wasn't that? Or that was your, wait, yeah, that was for Libra moon. Oh, she had long stuff too. Okay. All right. So she's here. And if you look at sometimes there's crossover messages. So Kelly, when I do Libra moon's message, pay attention from her mom. When I connect her with her mom, pay attention to that, because oftentimes there's crossover messages. There are a lot of people who sometimes come and they say, oh, I'm just listening because I always get something from this. It's not always meant that you're supposed to get the personal direct message, but sometimes you're meant to like receive through someone else. So there's reasons for that. We're all connected and sort of inspired to listen on certain days or stop on certain things. I feel like my makeup is super dark. Ooh. Like the time when my grandmother called me an old crow when I was a sophomore in high school. Oh, grandmas. Okay. Sorry, drinking tons of water. Okay, let's go. So, Kelly, you were asking about your body. So when I first read that last weekend, the first thing I was thinking is, I actually wasn't thinking diabetes. I was actually feeling more, and this like sucks, but it would behoove you to go to a neurologist and look at something like maybe MS or something like that, something that's more autoimmune. Have you been tested for that? Oh no, I'm going to pull it up on my phone because for some reason I can't read the message on my computer. And I am not a doctor. So, again, I cannot diagnose, but it was the first thing that popped into my mind was looking at something like that, going to a neurologist rather than a nephrologist or your GP saying like, So if you can go directly without a all right, Julia, I have you, by the way. And Regine, I have you. So Regine after Allie and then Julia. Let's put Allie's name again. I just want to read this again in full. I'm like, there's another specialist that I'm getting, and I can't think of the title of it, of the subspecialty. It's not infectious disease. It's I just want to look up and see if I keep hearing maybe something like rheumatoid arthritis, but that doesn't feel right. No, that's not it. It feels like something autoimmune. And no. I would look at MS, and I would find a neurologist that specializes in it again. So if your GP needs to give you a referral, get a referral, but start the process and get yourself checked out. It just feels like it's something that obviously needs further investigation. But that was the thing that sort of like came right to when I read your thing. And again, I am not a doctor, so I am not prescribing or diagnosing or any of that, but it just feels like it would be good to look in that direction to seek that sort of, I mean, even not psychic, just looking at from like having a medical background, like looking at if you're having like anything that sort of resembles a nerve issue, that's who you would need to go to. That's who you need to reach out to. And they have lots of really, it's like they're discovering more and more stuff about it, if that's what it is. So let's not go to the fear place. Although I sort of suspect you might have thought about that. Are you okay? I'm just trying to send you an energetic hug. Okay. My plants are sad. I need to water them. Okay. Mallory, are you here? Okay. All right. You're welcome. I'm sorry. But I don't feel like, here's the thing. I don't feel like it's like, I feel like whatever they'll do, they figure it out and it actually gets better. Like you find relief from it. They did just recently come out and say like, um, omega-3s, which would be like your fish oil, and vitamin D3 they're finding actually really make a big difference with autoimmune stuff. So I feel like they're going to find stuff that's not so terrible that actually helps relieve some of the discomfort for you. Hi, Brianna. We hope you're well too. Sorry, that was just a little bit of a heavy question. I really, really would encourage you to go to the doctor. I cannot say that enough. So I will never ever tell you other than because I have a background in medicine and I understand the legal ramifications of me saying like, oh, don't go to the doctor. Like you have to go. You have things that are going on that really do require someone to look at you. And then once you've gotten that look at it and you make the decision on your own, that's on you. But I cannot recommend anything other than for you. It would be really, I hope I'm wrong, right? And maybe it's just a pinched nerve or something that's going on, but I don't think that that's what it is. And I'm not qualified to diagnose at all. Okay. Mallory, let's look at you. And any medical intuitive, I think, would say the same thing. Like, actually, I went to one years and years ago, and I wasn't one of my friends recommended it, and he like gave me all these things, and I was like, it just felt weird. I was like, what? Not gave me, but he's like a list of all these herbs, and I was like, it was weird. Anyway, that's all I'll say about that. Jay Carlo, I'm glad you like turtles. If you're going to be a turkey, you don't need to stay. Okay. So, Mallory, let's see what you have to say. I've recently been getting to know a new male friend. What are your thoughts about it? Could I have his first name, please? Aaron. Okay. I want to read your question again. Recently been getting to know. Can I be real? I don't feel like he's a terrible guy. I don't feel like he's fully emotionally available. I feel he's like I don't think like, oh, he's a narcissist. I like that. But like I do feel like he breadcrumbs a little bit and sort of like um my sense is that he'll crack a joke when there's like an emotional moment instead of like actually being able to be present and deal with it. Um he just feels really surface level to me. He doesn't feel like I don't want to say that there's not much below it. It's just that he doesn't want to process much below it. So like he hasn't done a lot of introspective work. So I don't think he's a bad guy. I just like he'll be great just to go on a few dates with, maybe go to a ball game with, have fun. But if you're looking for someone who can be fully emotionally supportive and transparent and there, no. Okay. So that might explain why he's not really like he feels more surface and not really dealing with the like lose like dealing with the emotional part of it, hasn't done really a lot of that work. That might explain that. If he just lost two parents, he might not be available, where like he kind of breadcrumbs, he's not fully available because it's too much for him. So take it slow. Maybe you help him figure out how to get do the more introspective work, and then that makes him a better fit for you. Like I said, I don't feel like he's a bad guy, and I'm like not like narcissist or anything. I just feel like more surface, not fully emotionally available. And that like losing your parents 2 months ago completely explains that. Okay. Brianna, did you have a question you wanted to ask, or are you I'm not used to people having doing cross readings and piggybacking, so I'm trying to figure out what. You're welcome. It's not every relationship you have to go into and go, is am I going to marry him? Is this the guy the one? Are we really trust your instincts a little bit? Like just go on a couple dates. It's not going to hurt you to go on a couple dates. Just pay attention to red flags. Enjoy yourself. Everything doesn't have to be about forever. Okay, it's okay. I just was wondering. I'm just not used to people piggybacking on doing readings. Um, Ashley, you want to go? I know when I watch other readers too, I just simply, and even if I get stuff, I don't ever comment on what I get. I feel like if they were meant to get a reading from me, they would find me and get a reading from me. I just like to see other people's styles and yeah. And you're welcome to watch. And I would support you if you have a channel or something you do. I would support you too. And you're welcome to share that information here. But oh, you sent your question on PayPal. Sorry, dear. Oh, yours is about Sebastian, right? Let me go back to that. For some reason, I don't know why it's not allowing me to read on my computer. I think it's not clicking through to that. Okay, how does Sebastian feel about you now? It's not that he doesn't like you. I do think he does. I just feel like he's another one that just feels like not Aaron's not like this necessarily. It just feels like it is like sort of the like thinking he's sliding into the old relationship and the old you. And I feel like you've done a lot of work in the last year and a half. So it's not going to be as easy for him to just pick up where he left off. So it's that feeling of you being comfortable and an energy he needs to be around because he finds comfort in it. Um, if you're having a hard time or you're having a bad day, sometimes you're like just want to like curl up on the couch with a movie you've watched a million times and just, like eat nachos or whatever. I don't really do that much, but I'm just saying like watch a movie that you've seen a million times because there's a comfort in it. So it feels like he's going through something and that's perhaps what reconnected you. And it feels like there's that sense of like familiarity. And I'm trying to ask if it changes at a point where so it's not that he's not like attracted to you. Um, it's okay, Brianna. You're okay. Okay. Bye, Bohemia. Have a good one. You don't have to be here, Bohemia. This isn't a scam. I'm really good at what I do. And if you're so good at what you do, you could just try and do readings on your own on YouTube. It's actually quite different than doing them in person. Brianna, you did not offend me at all. It was just, I guess that's just the way I'm not offended. I prefer to be direct with people and honest. Okay, so I feel like I keep getting something about 2 to 3 months. So it feels like there's a shift in the way he sees you in 2 to 3 months. So it doesn't feel like I'm jumping into a relationship right now. It does feel like more of a like late night phone calls kind of thing. Um, you must be so bored. And again, if you ever, I support other people and their channels, and I support other people and hi JB. So I was trying to be nice, but I don't really give a shit. It does feel like a shift in a good way. So sure, Dina, you can. Hey, KK, can you take care of these people, please? Um, it doesn't matter. I just figure you've got to be really like if you're gonna go on somebody's channel and be immature or whatever, you just found out what on Friday? Sorry. Oh, he's out of the country for the next few months. So that's probably what the 2 to 3 months is then. Is that right? So talk, get to know each other. That's what that is. And so then there's the shift in 2 to 3 months. Okay. It's all right. I mean, Nothing they will ever do is going to compare to anything any of my family members have ever done. So it's just, to me, it's really disheartening that someone is so sad and so lonely. Um, you're harassing me now. So it's okay. I really hope, I don't know, maybe my husband's been on Twitter again. So, um, okay. And 100% of today's proceeds are going to go to support the Ukraine. Okay. And I have the thing in my description who I'm supporting. So Ashley, I feel like it's going to be fine. I know it's disappointing, but it feels like it's good for you to just be chatting to him and getting to know him better that way again. Okay. Okay, Jennifer, let's read for you now. I think you sent yours as well. There, I just saw that. Your Ireland and Scotland's the best time to go. So you're either going to do May into June, so it feels like a 2 to 3 week trip, or into in October, just the full solid month of October. So it either like splits somehow, like maybe you fly out at the end of May and then back into June, or in October. The May to June time is more prominent to me. I know that's quicker, but it feels like a last minute fair deal and hotel. Like it feels like a last minute really good deal on it. And again, or October. Okay. Hi, Jihane. Okay, you're up. And then I'll check the payments really quick. Oh, Jihane, you paid twice? So I'll do 2 for Jihane. And then I've got 1 for Devery after Julia. Okay, so I do feel like you'll get married. I'm getting something about 3 years and then 6 years. So maybe 3 years before you're married, which I know seems like a really long time when you're wanting something, right? But it just feels like the right one stepping in at that time. And then I do feel like you have children. It feels like 2. So it feels like, I feel like there's a struggle to get pregnant, and that might be what the 6 years is, where it's like there's a 3-year period where you're trying. I do so I wanna say this, it feels like there's gonna be a lot of outside pressure from family members, especially the mothers, sort of like making you feel bad about not getting pregnant right away, and then you putting a lot of stress on yourself about not getting pregnant right away. Um, that doesn't help you get pregnant. Libra moon, you might be underneath. I don't have your PayPal name as a, so I don't know what your PayPal name is. So unless you put it in your notes that you're a Libra moon on your PayPal. So my sense is, Jihane, so I feel like marriage in 3 years, children in 6. 6. Okay. I am answering your question, Jihane. And it also feels like, I also feel like right around that 6-year time, there's a move. So it may be that, you're moving to a larger house, but it feels like a move at that time. And it feels like because of your husband's job. Jen, I have to look for your payment. I didn't see that one. Or sorry, Libra moon. I have to look for yours. I have a Jen Anderson, which I already answered, and Jihane and Charlie Girl and Allie and Regine and Julia and Jihane and Deborah. Sometimes there's a delay. 3 years to get married, 6 years for children. Hi, Makik and Stingray. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Okay. Oh, I didn't see your validation. What's your second question, Jihane? Oh, it was about I'll look his name up again. So don't let outside voices distract you or make you feel more stressed out about getting pregnant, or that there's, just relax. Also remember that those souls have to come in at a specific time. It's also about their journey, not just yours. Now I think about it, you told me a few months ago that someone would be coming in 6 to 7 months back in November. He'll be back in May. Oh, fancy, fancy. And that is 3 months out, which I said 2 to 3 months. All right. Okay, let me look at your second question. Sorry, dear. So it says, Wasim, and I don't talk. Can you tell me if he feels something about me, or at least thinks about? I don't feel like he does. I feel like, I'm sorry, and I know that's disheartening, but like also, stop giving your energy to somebody that doesn't think you're worth it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you're worth it. And if somebody else can't see it, that's on them. It has nothing to do with you. It's nothing, it doesn't say who you are at all. It says that they're not amazing enough to see how amazing you are. But I don't think he sees it. My sense is that he's not seeing it at all. Please do, Ashley. That would be amazing. Jennifer, I see your name. I don't see it in PayPal. So what can happen with that is sometimes it just gets delayed a little bit in the payment. I'll keep checking for it. Don't worry. I told you last week that he is. Things can change in a week. I'm happy to be wrong, Jihane. I'm super happy to be wrong. Okay? I just don't feel like, I don't feel like he's the one who you're going to marry anyway, to be honest with you. So what you can do is when you're manifesting, right? Instead of picking a specific person, number one, work on a self-concept. You got to lean it forward a little more. I know. What is this for? Okay. Do you need anything else? No. Okay. Love you. I don't feel like he is now. I'm sorry. It can change. I mean, I just don't. I'm happy to be wrong, but I don't feel it. And I just feel like it's good to work on your own self-concept and work on the affirmations around self-concept. So I am worthy, I'm valuable, I am enough, I am more than enough. I'm a badass. The universe gives you what you believe to be true. So if you don't believe you're valuable or worthy, that's what shows up in the world, because the universe goes, oh, that's the computer programming you want? Here we go. You don't have to apologize. Energy is a very interesting thing, because even if you're not talking, people can feel your energy. If you're very linked to somebody, have you ever noticed that you just randomly start having angry thoughts about somebody? Like you haven't thought about them in a while. And all of a sudden you're just like angry about some bad thing and it like comes out of nowhere. I guarantee you probably 95% of the time it's because they're feeling terrible about themselves. They're having a bad day and the universe goes, we're going to pull any negative energy we can from anywhere. And it's going to be negative thoughts, and they move. Quantum physics proves this, where our thoughts move in those directions. Look at the water experience, like the water when they take a water model or water drop and they put it under a microscope. And if you just label the jar with a negative word, and like any of the words that are different, positive, negative, whatever, that they form different crystals. So, and that's just the word on the jar. Speaking to it negatively. So I'm telling you, you're very powerful beings. We are all very powerful beings, and our thoughts matter. And what follows I am matters. Speak kindly to yourself. Send compassion and love to people. It's not like, oh, I feel bad for you. It's like, I'm going to send you love. Like those, whatever people. This is nothing about me because they're doing that. Just because they're like, oh, you're a fraud, whatever. I'm not. You scam. Okay. It's not going to stop me from being me. It's going to stop me from working. Put your energy where you deserve it right now, though. Put it towards yourself. That's not selfish. And shoot, yeah, then, if it's being selfish to take care of yourself and build yourself up and check your mental state and how you feel about yourself, well, be selfish. Everybody deserves to love themselves. Charlie girl, you're up. I'm going to check now for Jen's payment to see if it came through. Jen, it's not here. Do you want to double check who you made the address you made the payment to? I have an interview on Tuesday. It's with the same company I've already had 3 rounds with. Will it go as well as round 3 did? Well, wait, will it go as round, like you said that it glitched out and did something weird. You emailed me and said that, which is what I said, something about glitching out or having connection issues, right? So yeah, Jen or Libra Moon, can you just check and make sure that it was Annalisa MSF? Because if it's just Annalisa, it's somebody else. And the woman has been kind enough to send people's money back before, but can you check? If not, I can. Right, but I'm sort of tooting my own horn here. So, I heard yes, it will, and I heard saw flying colors and flags, not red flags, just a celebration. Is it between you and one other person or 2 other people? I feel like everybody does well, but you stand out. And it's something that'll happen in this interview that'll really kind of seal the deal on that one, on you standing out. 2 other people, because I saw 2. So I also feels like there's room for growth here because I just heard she's going to go far. So I feel like there's a lot of room for growth in this position. I feel very excited about it. So this is good. This is good. And now you have to come back and tell me how great it went. Allie, you're up. Did you just pay Libra Moon? I'm just rolling down to see if maybe I missed it. Mm-mm. You're very welcome. Yes, for Amazon internship. I don't know if it's they're showing me a 6, so I don't know if this means 6 months or June. If it's a shorter internship. I don't feel like it's your only internship, so I feel like you get a different one with a different company after. I got to be honest, I don't feel like you're going to love the internship, but I feel like it's going to be great experience and good on your resume. But I don't feel like you're going to love it. It's a summer internship, so maybe it doesn't mean just because I say you're not going to love it doesn't mean it's going to be terrible. I just feel like you're not going to love it. It's not going to be like there's some jobs you get and you're like, this is the best. And there's other jobs it builds, you learn stuff from it, but it's not where you want to stay. So don't that doesn't mean anything terrible. I don't get like, "Oh my god, stay away." I'm not getting any of that. I'm just getting like, "I don't know that you're gonna love it." Like, it's gonna be short term, okay. Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be more internships afterwards. Yeah. It's just, like, not really digging the atmosphere, and I think, look, it's okay to go through those experiences, like, just like with dating, like, it's okay to date other people and go through relationships and go through different jobs and have all kinds of different experiences because at the end of the day, that's like, how do you know what you like if you don't also experience what you don't like? I don't know. I never look at, like, things as being like I mean, I've had jobs where I had a travel position in the city where people were like, "How do you stay here so long?" And I was like, "I mean, it's not ideal, but I wanna stay in New York City." So, like, this is like every time my contract is up, this is the only place that's offering. Like, I haven't hit, like, that right sweet spot for somebody else. Like, it's like another contract may be available in, like, a month or 3 weeks before I my contract ends, but it's like the timing was never right, and I just was sort of like so in that position, instead of staying on one floor on one unit, and that can be disastrous, I asked to float, so I was always working a different place on every shift because it was just easier because I could just go keep my head down, do my job, and not get involved in all the drama. 40 hours isn't bad. You'll be fine. I promise. Don't let it make you nervous. You're perfectly capable of doing the job. It just feels like not a great vibe, which is fine. Like something doesn't have to be a good vibe. Like it's like I worked in the ER, I think, as a ER nurse for like 9 months. It was not my bag. It was not my cup of tea. Did not like it. Um, I like continuity of care. I like working on a floor on a unit where I get to like see my patients. I liked working in the NICU because I loved having primary care patients. They were there, like, I mean, there's ones that I still remember and like will not ever forget. Hi, Victor. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming and checking it out. So I promise you're going to take away something from this and it'll be like a great learning experience. It'll be okay. I think that's normal. Yeah, I feel like you'll get paid. I don't feel like you'll get paid a ton, but I feel like you'll get paid. Um, I think they're a little farther behind other companies that are, looking at fair pay for interns. I don't think that they're looking for, there are some people who totally take advantage of people that are interns and are, dog, terrible hours and uh, no compensation. I feel like you'll get compensated. I don't think it's great, but it's enough. I feel like I have glue or something on my pants here. Don't ask. Crafts. Okay. All right. Regine, Julia, and Davri, you guys are up. I'm checking. I just don't see your payment, Libra. Did you check? Did your payment go through? Did you double check? Triple check? Regine, please tell me about the beautiful man coming into my life soon. So first of all, he has an amazing smile. Like I could just see these bright white teeth, like perfect teeth smile. He reminds me of I have to look at the guy's name. I'm trying to remember the show. What was the show that was a spinoff from Grey's Anatomy? They were like doctors on the beach. I always laugh at those. Private Practice. Okay, hang on. I gotta look at that. I always see actors' names in my, or like faces in my head, and then I can never remember them, but I can remember that like I can remember the name of somebody they were in something with like 50 years ago, and then it's just like becomes this whole sorry. And I think this is it's not the name of who I'm thinking of. Shit. Well, that's garbage. Hang on, sorry. Oh, it is Tay Diggs. I was thinking Tay Diggs. So he reminds me of that, like very handsome, um, big smile, like whole face lights up when he smiles, beautiful teeth. And I feel like he will be very health conscious and like he may have a divorce under his belt already, because they're showing me somebody else who I follow, but this guy is like he I don't know if you followed like the angry therapist on Instagram, and he's got a divorce under his belt, and he talks about like I had a lot of work to go through, so I feel like he's gone through this work. He's doing the work now, and it it presents now somebody who's more open to communication, more open to vulnerability and emotional connection, which is where you're at, and understanding mindset and all of that stuff. Um, I just get this feeling that he's also really, I don't want to say in construction, but like really handy. And that could be taken really inappropriately. And I don't feel like it's supposed to be taken inappropriately. Well, maybe it's appropriate. um, it just feels like he's like, could be an engineer or an architect or something like that. But it just feels like good with building stuff, fixing things. I do feel for sure one. And I feel he may have one from the previous or two from the previous. All right. Um, Libra, Libra moon, what are you struggling with? You haven't the foggiest. You're welcome, Regine. Julia, do you want to retype your question? And Devry, either one of you guys can go, or you ladies. So are you asking about becoming power of attorney? I don't feel like he'll be coming home. I don't feel like he'll stay there. I feel like he'll go to like a long-term care facility. And it feels like So if it's not a specific place that's just for people with Alzheimer's, it'll be like one that has a specific Alzheimer's unit or dementia unit. But I don't feel like he's staying in the hospital. I feel like his sodium balance is off. Did they just keep highlighting sodium as an issue for him? And this is weird the way they're showing this to me. And so I'm trying to figure out if this means that he's like, I do feel like he's having incontinent issues because they're showing me like an adult diaper, like him, like not like it's. I worked in an Alzheimer's care facility when I was in college very briefly. I worked nights and I did not work there long because I got attacked. Like one of the residents had a sundowning thing and told me he was going to break my arm. And I had to hide while this other person calmed him down. And like literally was out of nowhere. I was like, oh, here's this. And he's like, I'm going to break your arm. I was like, I was 19, 20. And he probably could have broken my arm. He's like, they get like this crazy, whatever. Anyway, but there was a gentleman who one time, like I was walking, like the halls are circular. It's just one circular with the rooms on the outside. So that way, like they don't get stuck. I don't know how to explain this, but they can get stuck in corners. But this man had his like diaper. He took his diaper off and he was trying to like clean himself. So it's like, feels like he's trying to take care of himself, but he just can't. Okay. So I don't know what thiamine is that's B12, I think, or B6. So was he drinking as well? Because usually they give that when they're, they call it a banana bag if it's on an IV because it's like yellow. I keep getting sodium as being an issue. So maybe he's dehydrated, but I feel like he can't take care of himself. It's like he's trying, but he can't. Alcoholism. Okay. So I do feel like he'll go to a facility. I don't feel like he's going to be just in the hospital forever. I had this conversation with my own family about an uncle, so I'm having this with you. Discuss this with your sister about what I don't feel like he's there yet. So like, I don't feel like he's in end stage liver disease or anything like that. But I feel like you two should have the conversation about what your plans are. And this is probably just because maybe it's morbid, but I've had enough experience with like people dying, taking care of people dying, children that have died because I worked in pediatrics, but also had the adult experience when I was younger, like early in my career. What his heroic life-saving efforts will look like, if you want to make him DNR or not, because you have to look at quality of life. And because truthfully, CPR is a very violent act. Lungs can be punctured, ribs can be cracked. So I'm talking to you about that because they're bringing it up, but also, and my uncle who passed back in November passed from alcoholic cirrhosis of the liver. He was very far gone. And that was a conversation I had with family members of like, this is where I think it's at, and look at quality of life. They're bringing it up, so it's something to think about. You don't both have to be in the decision-making thing. You can, I think it's really something that my sense is that the two of you have to discuss together and just be on the same page with together. Um, I don't know where you're at, but as far as I know, um, it can be something that's within the medical documents that you have the conversation with the doctors and there's witnesses like the nurses can witness or social worker. And if you're both on there, then the decision can be for either of you to make at that point. Okay. Okay. Just his brain is failing. Okay. I don't know. My sense is that you don't need to apply. It feels like your sister and you would have be able to keep open communication. Perhaps it's just something that needs to be within the medical notes that either one of you can be reached and make that decision, if anything, and make decisions for him. But I don't feel like he's going to stay in the hospital, and I don't feel like he's going to die anytime soon. I just want to say that. I feel like he goes to like an Alzheimer's care facility where it specializes with somebody with dementia. He doesn't have hyponatremia. Like I feel like sodium level needs to be checked. And I actually feel like the imbalance in that is what's sort of leading to his irritability. I mean, it's the dementia too, but it feels like it almost feels like, I don't want to say like there's also like a blood sugar issue in it too. Like maybe he drops just a little low and that's where his anger hits. Like if you were to actually have a monitor on him, you would see that he's sort of like it's him getting hangry. Like, so it might be beneficial for him to have a little bit more of a heavier protein meal or like little snacks here and there throughout the day. I know that sounds weird, but that's like the feeling I'm getting. And that never ever crossed my mind anytime I worked in the hospital that like that might be the issue for a dementia person, but that's what I feel like. It may behoove you to start looking now for placement. So get hooked up with the social worker in the hospital to help and start looking for places now. Because I do feel like he won't stay in the hospital. He'll go home or home-ish, not home. Oh, then that's your validation. Yeah, it's weird because it feels like hangry. And he doesn't know how to verbalize it. And he doesn't know how to say, like, he doesn't understand what's going on with the body. He just gets hangry. And I feel like he's also dysregulated. So like, there may be sounds or sensory things that are going on that he doesn't really understand. So it's like he might benefit from quieter spaces or not as bright lights, things like that to help him stay calm. I think hospitals and doctors and nurses are amazing, but I also feel like, and I was once, right? So, but I also feel like we miss the boat on brain health issues, mental health things, and people being overstimulated in how it exhibits and presents, and things we forget. It can be the simple things that trigger an emotional meltdown, what have you. Wait, what? I've given up smoking after your last reading, total validation, after you said I was ill, had a severe. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. I'm so glad. All right. I'm going to move on and move forward. Devry, you're up. KK, thank you for fielding all of the ridiculousness today. Libra girl, are you still here? Or not Libra moon? Libra moon. Sorry, Charlie girl. Mixing everybody up. I don't see yours. I'll give you a gift. I'll go ahead and do your reading today. So if you're here, Libra moon, Devry, go ahead and ask your question. And then I'll do yours, Libra moon. I don't know why. I just feel like it. As long as KK is okay with staying. Devry posted. I'm sorry, I missed it. Thank you, KK. I literally don't see it. Oh, I don't see it, honey. Hang on. Devry, I don't see it. I only see where you asked. Oh, I don't see it. Do you mind reposting? Oh, goodness gracious. Thank you. I messed up bad with this move and Israel. I put myself in more debt. Just don't know what to do and it's stressful. Okay. What do you mean by change course of action? I don't feel like moving again is the option. How did you mess up bad with it? Because it's a little bit more of a financial burden? Yeah. But I feel like energetically it's better. And I also feel like your health stuff is better. I do feel your depression. I don't want to be like jerky and be like, well, just manifest your way out of it. Because I know that that's the solution is shifting your thought process and shifting how it is and sticking with it. But I also know where you're at. And it's really, really crappy and dismissive and diminishing to have somebody say that to you. And it also doesn't make you feel empowered. I keep seeing the need to have like 2 part-time jobs versus like, it just feels like I keep feeling 2 jobs. But I don't feel like working to death. I just feel like for whatever reason, it's like you're stuck financially. The move itself was a lot. I understand what it is to be there and feel stuck, no growth, and like strapped. So I'm like, I hate that this is the answer they're giving me because I get where you're at. And I'm like, it's such a dickhead response. And yes, I'm calling my guides and your guides dickheads right now. sorry for the language. It's just like, oh, just I want there to be a different like where they're like just your belief system is making you stuck. So it's like stop saying I'm stuck. You're not stuck. You see movement. So I'm going to ask it a different way. In 6 months is where you get to the point where you're out of that I'm stuck in debt feeling. I thought you said you already moved. All right, can we just talk manifesting for a minute? Sometimes when you ask questions, I've noticed this over the months. They come out as if you've already made this big move and you're already in this negative space of like, this is already terrible thing has happened. And I wonder, it's really easy for you to imagine all of the terrible that's not there, but why does it feel any more crazy or delusional to imagine all of the positive that could be there too? This is what I'm going to say to you. This is not psychic. And then I want you to ask me a psychic question because this is just a friend chatting with you. Okay. Because this is probably what I'd say to my friends. If you would have less anxiety and less stress by staying where you're at, do that. It's not forever. 6 months. When you move, the place or wherever you're at now has better energy. You like is a healthy, like health wise, because I feel like there was mold or something at that other place that was causing irritation. I feel like you're still gonna have some physical stuff kind of going on, like health stuff going on for like as far out as 2 months, but then it sort of clears the system and you start feeling better. It just feels like getting it like it just takes a little bit to clear from your system. So as a friend, I would say it's not the end of the world to stay with somebody for a few months, get on your feet. If they're willing for you to be there, they love you. It's copacetic, like everything works okay. Swallow that pride and do it. Because I really believe in manifesting. I really believe in belief systems. But sometimes when we're in a space where it's so hard to see outside of our 3D that's going on, it's hard to move into a space of going, okay, I'm going to imagine everything working out and best case scenario. And you can change the perspective on it. Like, what a gift I have that my aunt is here to be here, to be supportive. Like, how grateful am I? Like, this is just a stepping stone into the place that I want it to be instead of looking at it as the worst thing ever. Sometimes we go through shitty things, but those things propel us into the good stuff. I mean, I often think I sometimes have to be at the worst place ever in order to finally make a change and be like, I'm done. Like, I've tolerated enough pain. I'm moving forward now. And um, that's what propels me into a better space. You can't explain it any better either way. It's a terrible living situation. Okay. I'm sorry. I just, I know it's not what you want to hear. I just keep feeling the sense of like, whenever I read people when they're not me reading them, but I'm reading their stuff around manifesting or whatever. And it's like, I may not be in the best situation, but I'm going to live as if I'm that person. Like I'm dressing for the job I want. And it just feels like, I'm not saying go out and spend a whole bunch of money, but it's like, get up, do the things that you would do if you were in the place that you want to be. It's not ideal. I don't want to get this run wrong because I feel really bad for you and I can feel where you're at. I know you're not trying to be rude. I don't ever feel like you're trying to be rude, Debbie. Ever, 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 ever. And I know you're not asking all of this other stuff. But what they're telling me is that you have to shift your mindset in order to get you to that place where you're above water. So I can tell you there's something important about 6 months. I can tell you that I can never say like you should do this. Um, did you already sign a lease? And I'm asking that because it feels like it should be for somewhere that's smaller than where you think you're supposed to be. So it feels like maybe I got a 1 bedroom. I should really get a studio and I would be fine. I don't feel roommate situation, like moving into a roommate situation. I feel like moving in by yourself. But it feels like maybe less amenities than I was wanting or less something. And that if I can go back to if you've already signed a lease, go back to them and see if there's a potential and put money down already. Okay. It feels like maybe talking to them about the potential of like if they have a studio apartment instead of a 1 bedroom. I do feel like you'll be okay. I don't feel like it's going to be the worst thing ever, but it may mean that for 6 months, you get like a second part-time job or something where you're just earning to pay. Like you don't even feel like you're home, but you're just to like get yourself thing. Cause I do feel like having 2 jobs, which sucks. It sucks that anybody that we just don't have a living wage here for people. I understand that you're regretting it. I also feel like looking at ways to cut costs. So I know I often look at using like a different, I don't know why, because I always look at ways to cut costs. Not because we can't afford it, because I just think, no, I don't know. That's just the way I am. Probably my own money stuff where I grew up without a lot. So, um, but it's like that feeling of like when I graduated from college, I moved to Austin from Wisconsin, and I lived with one of my sisters. One of my other sisters lived there, and she's not a great money manager. And I was sort of like, well, your rent should only be a quarter of your income. And it was not. And she's like, well, I have to live. Like she's always lived very interesting. I was like, why is your phone bill so expensive? So it just feels like with your cell phone, maybe getting something that's more like not a prepaid, but like something like Mint Mobile or whatever, where it's like it's on the T-Mobile line. And I know that like Verizon has something like this too, but then you pay like a year and a chunk, but it's only like it's a small amount of money. You have Mint Mobile. Maybe that's what you're getting at. Do you like it? um, you've cut cable. Okay. It just feels like doing little things like that and then like just getting a part-time thing. You've done everything. Just get a part. It feels like getting a second job then where it's like you're just working a little extra for a short period of time to pay off so you don't feel that squeeze. The other part about it when you said like I feel like I should just move home. It's like whatever you do, it needs to be in the direction of whatever is going to relieve your anxiety. Because if you cannot get out of that space of anxiety and worry, it's very hard to create the life that you want. It's very hard to move forward and recognize that your beliefs create your reality. KK, are you seeing something I'm not? And I'm asking this because I keep getting back to like, ask KK. KK's done my psychic development circles and stuff, and she's excellent at outing you. Um, just is there something you're seeing that I'm not? I know you're realistic. I'm not being unrealistic. That's why I'm saying like the thing that I feel is sticking you is this belief system around money and feeling stuck. And so I'm being realistic and saying the options I keep getting is A, have to shift your manifestation, have to shift your belief systems, work on your core self beliefs. B, it's either second job or whatever it is, it's whatever you need to do to relieve the anxiety and stress around it. So they're not saying like she should move home or she should do this. I don't get things that way, right? It just feels like if you move home, there's this sense of feeling like, yes, I can save up the money and stuff, but I also have the sense of being a failure and failing. And if I move into the apartment, it's this sense of worry and dread. So to prevent the worry and dread, they're sort of saying like, get a second job for a little while. It's not forever. You're not forever going to be this way, but it feels like when I graduated from college, I had $5,000 in debt, which is not a lot, but I worked full time during college, went to school full time. I worked like one of my friends, like, you worked more than anybody I knew. I worked my ass off. So when I graduated and I got a job as a nurse, Austin didn't pay nurses shit. And they probably still don't pay nurses shit because there's only two hospital systems there and there's no competition. So there's no need for them to like bump up the pay. I spoke fluent Spanish and I was like, hey, I don't use your bat phones. You want to pay me quarter extra an hour? That is nothing. That is dirt. They were like, well, if you wanted to, this is Austin. It's amazing. And I was like, go fuck your mother. I'm moving to Houston where they pay nurses better, which I did. Um, I absolutely did eventually. Within a year, I was in Houston because I was like, this is garbage. And cost of living there was ridiculous compared to what I was making. Point being, I only had 5 grand in debt, but it felt like it took me forever. But once I got out of that, it was like, great. I felt so much better. So I'm very realistic too. That's why I'm looking at like, I hate telling you what they're telling me because it sucks. It's not like, but I've also seen really magical things with me just working on my belief systems and healing things and shifting energy around stuff. And so the feeling is it's not you should do this. It's if you do this, this is the way I feel that things are going to fall out. If you do this, this is the way I feel like you're going to feel around things. Like, so if you get in the apartment, it just feels like getting a second job that will ease the thing, but it feels like it's kind of drudgery or whatever, but it feels like you come out okay. But I feel like the anxiety of the money thing would be relieved if you moved home, but I also feel a sense of feeling like a failure, which you're not a failure, but it feels like that because, well, also, what's wrong with failing at something? Then you figure out a better way to do it and do it better the next time. I failed a million times. Look, I keep trying new things on here. They don't work out. I'm like, whatever, try something new. Throw some more spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. Like, so stay working at the private practice, but it may mean that you need to do like a little something else on the side. So what's your special skill? Go on Fiverr. See if you can pick up some extra little jobs on the side there. Are you good at making worksheets or things that people can make downloadable? Sell them on Etsy. And you just take the time to create them, put them up there, have like 20 different things on there. Sells in its sleep. People just download them. You don't have to ship anything, you don't have to do anything. You just create the product. I'm working on that. Because why not? Libra Moon, are you still here? What the hell is all over my pants? Lord. So my sense is that this is like, I don't get, like, there are sometimes when people ask me questions, I'm like, this is what you should do. This is where it should go. And they're not showing me that. They're like, if she does this, this is what happens. If she does this, this is what happens. And this is a way to circumvent it. So it's not the magic answer that you want. I know it's not the magic answer that you want. But it's also super shitty thing to say. They're like, it's a part of her growth and recognizing her power. I'm sorry, Devery. I do feel like with some of the depression, there is some sort of, and I'm not saying it's all this, and this is that there's some sort of like omega-3, vitamin D3 deficiency, something else going on nutritionally that would help make it not so hard. And I know it's hard to get out of bed some days, and I'm really sorry. And that's like, I don't have depression, but I have loved ones very close to me that have depression, and it's hard and it sucks. And my heart goes out to you. And I'm sorry. And I know that doesn't make any of it better. What shift? I mean, there's been shifts, constant shifts. So I tend to not do collective readings because I think, like, collectively, I would say we're all becoming more aware, but then you have the ones who are more on the more conspiracy theory end. And then you have ones that are sort of on a different end. Like, like I've seen so much stuff on TikTok where it's like talking about like, where people are talking about like the Antichrist. And I'm like, I got this big hit this morning in the shower. Cause I'm always like, I'm open to listening to people's theories. It doesn't mean I agree with them. And sometimes I just don't want to see any more of this stuff because it's like not in alignment. Like I'm not in alignment with anything that's fear-based or anxiety inducing. Cause I think Like, that's not what I practice. That is not the intuition connection that I get with the higher source, whatever you want to call it. It's all nomenclature. It doesn't really matter what you call it. Um, like I actually got, well, like if you look at the Bible, right, the snake was opened Adam and Eve to awareness and being aware now instead of being controlled. And so like the Antichrist doesn't feel like this negative, scary, like demony thing. Like it feels like anti-establishment in the sense of what religion is. And, I'm sorry if this is against what anybody believes, but like, religions, a lot of them were created about controlling people. Oh, you're not disrespecting me at all. I'm just curious what you meant by that. So, so like I got like that the Antichrist is actually going, it's more about enlightenment and shifting away from religious zealots and dogma. So it's not really this big, scary, negative thing that everybody's like thinking, whatever. More connection, and people recognizing that we are all interconnected, and it's important to support people. Um, Sometimes what you're picking up when you're picking up shifts is you're picking up, you know, I mean, stuff gets bad before it gets good. But along the way, like I've had on these things, I've had lots of predictions along the way, and I don't mark them very well. I probably should, but I don't know. Anybody on here who's been watching me for long enough knows that I've been talking about like in like 2026 and 2028, like things years down the road shifting and making changes. But we have to sort of go through this rumbling here to loosen up and recognize like where all the malignancies are in our society. Um, you know, like we're now in the age of Aquarius. You don't follow mainstream society religion. I've always felt like I'm not like them because um, I see things coming and folk call me attention seekers. So I go quiet about it all. I mean, I tend not to do the big, like there are people out there who love doing the big readings and I like individual readings. I don't like the big readings. It's not because, it's just because like I had dreams about 9/11 before it happened. And I had dreams about, or I had not even dreams. I had a conversation on the side of the Hudson River. I was walking on a path, and looking south and was given the vision of the plane going down in the river about 6 months before it happened. I don't tell people those things because I don't know, like, because people do call you crazy or they get fear mongery, or when they find out how right you are about stuff, sometimes people get weird around you. Like they're like, what are you picking up about me? So I get it. For years I would see that I felt like we would go to a period where we wouldn't be able to fly for some reason, and people would be growing their own food. But I didn't like, I saw other people pick up on stuff like that, but there was like this fear mongering, like the world is going to hell. I'm like, well, no. And then I realized like, well, I wasn't able to see my mom for a while because of COVID. She wasn't able to fly for a while for that. And people were actually growing their own vegetables and stuff. You do not have to apologize. It's good to chat. You're not wasting my time. You're okay. It's not a waste of time. You're not going to learn unless you talk to people, and you're not going to figure out what you believe unless you explore it, and you're not going to know where to go unless you all I will say is along your journey, don't ever apologize for being curious and trying to figure it out. That's good. If it makes you feel scared, fearful, that's not your intuition, and that is not a place where you should continue to follow and believe. Like when people are like, protect yourself, don't always be open. I'm like, what? Um, that always made me feel like living in a state of fear with my spiritual beliefs. And none of my intuitive hits, none of my psychic connections, I've had them since I was a kid, have ever, like anything they've ever given me, whether it's about somebody's death, whether it's about somebody's illness, has never, ever, ever, ever once felt scary. It's always been the people who are living, spreading their toxic beliefs on me that's made me feel afraid. Um, and I totally get that. So you're not going to get burnt here. You're welcome to come here anytime. You can ask any kind of questions. This is a safe space, I promise. I may not always agree. Like I don't agree with the whole twin flame thing. And I'll tell you that, but it doesn't mean you're wrong for it. Remember, our belief systems create our realities, right? So I just look at things differently. Like I said, I thought, like, I did this whisper technique thing to Putin. And this thing that's not him looked at me. I don't feel like trying to remove it or send it over or whatever. It's not my, like, there's also the side of like some things are need to happen in order to make shifts. So, and maybe it's more about him shifting into like not being in power. I don't know. I can't see the whole picture. It's not my job to see the whole picture. Um, People are feeling shifts because so we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and it shifts you into enlightenment. And like think about, I always think about like, when they started switching over from paper charts to computer charting in the hospitals, it was like right around the time they were sort of starting that shift when I graduated from college and started nursing. There was still heavy paper charting, and some stuff was in the computers. And like slowly over time, they started changing. I'm still here, Libra Moon. So if you want to pay, you can ask a question. Um, what do you mean you'd like to know your purchase? I misunderstood. Are you sweating? What's going on? um, so when shifts occur, your ego rises up and goes, "This doesn't feel right," and there's going to be discomfort. Your purpose. Oh, so this is my thing on purpose. I don't think you're looking for your purpose, because really our purpose is all of our experiences, right? It's just the purpose for all of mankind is to come here and to learn and to have every experience that we're having and to try and transmute the negative and do all of that stuff. There isn't like one thing we're meant to do. So I sort of feel like people get caught up in that. And then like, if I don't know my purpose, somehow I'm failing my mission. And that's like not it at all. Your purpose is everything. Like my purpose is to be the mother of the children that I have, to be in all the relationships that I'm in, friendships, working relationships, my husband, all of these things, right? And all of the people I've dated before I got married. And my purpose is to do this. My purpose is to help connect others with their own gifts and empower them. It's everything. My purpose is to like hold the door open for somebody. Like you don't know how things mean nothing to you in your experience mean the world to somebody else. So it's like be a part of somebody else's miracle. That's your purpose. But maybe what you're looking for is your passion. This stuff, this is my passion. Not that my kids aren't, but this is like fun. My kids are fun too, but in a different way. Never apologize. You aren't doing anything. It's okay to take up space. It's okay to ask questions. All right, Libra Moon, what are we doing here, dear? Because we're hitting almost 2 hours, I think. I mean, clearly people are still here, so they can't be that tired. I had a good enough run, but feel like then maybe it is. A lot of us go through a lot. Like I used to think that like, oh, light workers come here and we go through these hard times so that we can be the light workers. I'm like, that's such a like martyrish view of it, right? I think that my going through the traumas and stuff sort of put me into as a catalyst into being a light worker because not everybody is a light worker that's had the hard time. But for me, that's what pushed me into that sort of thing. So follow the thing that interests you. You know, the thing that pulls you to like want to read more and learn more about, follow that. Follow that rabbit hole. Go that way. All right, Libra Moon, what's the plan? So look up, do this for yourself, Lucy. Look up next week. Okay. Look up the law of assumption. Neville Goddard, Florence Scovel Shinn. I'll write their names here. I'll type them here. Joe Dispenza. Trying to think of who else. There's people on YouTube that teach it, but like if you want a book, and you can find these pretty readily, their stuff pretty readily. Look them up. Look up law of assumption, not law of attraction, law of assumption. And it's basically like your beliefs create your reality. So if the world is your mirror, it doesn't mean like, oh, all these crappy things and dark things keep finding me because I'm dark. They keep finding you because you're putting out there that like sort of that's what you want to experience without like fully understanding it. Once I understood the law of assumption, like things just started clicking and like moving and changing and shifting. I started looking at darker experiences differently or darker energies differently and feeling more powerful rather than a pinball being bounced around in a game. Those are the people I would look at. So come join us again. Come chat. Ask these questions. They're fun for me. So I guess I'm going to say goodnight. KK, thank you so much. Everybody else, have a wonderful evening. And dude, I was in a cult. Oh my God. So I'm sorry. I'm glad you got out. I hope that you're not in contact with them anymore. But that doesn't mean you're a bad person. And it doesn't mean everybody's bad. And it doesn't mean every experience you're going to have is bad. I hope that you check these things out. And look at like, you know, I like Joe Dispenza's because he's also got some meditations and stuff that you can do. Well, you're not nuts because of it. You've got trauma because of it. That doesn't make you crazy. You've got coping mechanisms that suck. That doesn't make you crazy. You've got belief systems that suck. That doesn't make you crazy. It means that your programming is off because of other people. That doesn't make you crazy. And it doesn't mean you can't change or heal from it. Okay. I don't know what the goat means, but all right. Have a wonderful week, everybody. And I will see you next week.